not too dissimilar from Wyoming.
So you're from my neck of the woods.
I live in Denver,
Yeah,
but I had
very
some
nice.
family issues here, so I'm temporarily here for the next few months, and then hopefully back to Denver. Been living in the US for 6 years. It's been quite an interesting journey, especially in the last couple of years.
Where are you
Yeah.
from, Gabriel?
I'm originally from Italy. I'm currently living in
Oh,
Denver.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. I know some of your Argentine cousins.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that's great. I had no idea you guys were coming back. I got a notice that said my 40-minute free meeting had ended, and I had upgraded to the pro. And so they had previously told me that I had unlimited minutes on this meeting. And so they lied and kicked us off. And that whole technical difficulty I was having was it kept admitting me to the meeting and then kicking me off and admitting me again and kicking it off. And each time it was remembering I was in the meeting. And so I was getting all this feedback from multiple microphones being on at the same time. It was really weird. I have never had that kind of problem with Zoom before, but
Yeah.
very embarrassing.
Oh no, you're fine.
You're totally fine.
We've been dealing with this for the last, what, 2 years? I think we're all used to crazy computer glitches.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, anyway, I just thought I'd check back in and let you know I hadn't abandoned you guys.
Yeah.
But you were talking, Joshua, and I was very fascinated by some of the things that you were talking about.
Well, I was just, I was asking the group kind of like how they felt about the kind of the history that Ben Winnet goes into in the book, and, if that was pretty enlightening to the group. And I imagine, yes.
It was. In fact, it's interesting. I've read the book that he recommended that we read, The Creature from Jekyll Island.
Yeah.
I've read that book a number of occasions. I actually wrote a couple of papers in college. I mean, we're talking, now almost 40 years ago, 45 years ago almost. In college, I wrote a couple papers on the fractional reserve system. And so I'm very familiar. In fact, I based one of my papers on an actual white paper that had been written by the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, a research paper that an analyst there had done about the fractional reserve system. So I really did a deep dive into that.
Yeah.
And so I really resonated with Ben as he talked about that as part of the basis for, shadow banking and that kind of thing, because having worked in banking, my auditing years back in the 80s, I audited savings and loans before the crisis hit. That dates me, obviously. But in knowing what they were doing to cause the problems, I'm a firm believer that the best way to rob a bank is to own one.
Yeah.
And I don't advocate for that, obviously, but I also understand then where Ben is coming from, where, we got to be compliant, we got to follow regulations, but there are ways to do it in a way that we can all benefit and succeed as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of some of my common philosophy, I guess, behind, why I was attracted to what Ben was offering. And so, as I've been involved in this now for almost 6 months, I think it is, almost 7 months. I got back involved in it back in July. So I guess in some respects, I'm no longer the new guy. But, I've spent a lot of time, not just studying the material, but applying it in my mind. How do I make this work for me? How do I, put this together? And fortunately, and I wish I was here to, Ben was here to hear me say this, but I've really appreciated that for whatever reason, he's included me kind of in his inner circle. I've done nothing, I've done nothing other than just read and reread and study the material. But I find myself invited to some of his, special meetings, the 30 or so people that he says I'm going to talk to, and he gets out there and he invites me, and I get to learn more that way. And as I do that, I'm learning, oh my goodness, there's all these opportunities coming out of Adagio. Where's my clients? Where's my hedge fund? You know, where's my investment club so that I can, you know, take advantage of these things that he's putting together. I had no idea he was going to do that. You know, about a month ago, I was actually talking to him one-on-one, and this was after my official one-on-one. He got on a call when I was talking to another investment banker, and he said, you know, I'm making products for you guys. You know, how you propose to, you know, promote those and sell those and get people to come and participate in that, that's up to you guys. But I've got them here, and as long as, you know, as long as we're an investment bank, I'm going to keep making them. So, you know, because part of, I guess one of my questions at that point in time was, will there be something else out there when this deal closes, so to speak?
Oh yeah.
You know, and he said, oh man, there'll always be something. We're an investment bank. And so when I realized that, all of a sudden I'm going, okay, I need to step up my efforts in trying to put something together, not just for me, although that would be fine, but it looks like we've hung up again. So I don't know if we've oh, there we are. But, you know, I've been talking to a lot of guys, you know, in the ranks out here, you know, in the community, and they're all kind of like going, you know, and I obviously understand they don't understand it. You know, Ben's absolutely correct. And so I'm thinking, okay, we've got to somehow make more information available, not in terms of more content. All the content is there. I'm just saying we've got to create a means to make it I don't know how to say it, so that people understand it better, organize it.
More accessible.
Yeah.
More accessible for people to really comprehend.
Yeah, and if that means we have you know, maybe not a weekly meeting, maybe it's twice a month, you know, every other week or something, because I don't certainly want to fill up people's schedules just to fill up their schedules, but if we could get there and then pick a topic and say, okay, we're going to do a deep dive into this topic tonight, and if you've got questions, you know, open your books to page 137 and we're going to read it together if we have to and talk about it. You know, and that's a possibility. I'm certainly open to that too, because, you know, those of us who might take turns facilitating the conversation that night will learn the most. You know, the teacher always learns the most.
That's true.
And so, you know, we can organize it so that people will take turns facilitating a topic, and maybe it's the topic they understand the least, so they can get the benefit out of it. But more than that, I was looking to possibly also, you know, see of the interest that came here tonight, and I've got just about everybody's name down here, is to say, hey, do you want to come together and form an executive team? And maybe what we do is we work together to get an investment club started, and we pool our efforts, and we, you know, that was kind of the comment that Lem Reed had made a couple of months back, and I chatted with him about it, and
I mean, that's a great. I think that's a great end goal.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, and so you know, do a very professional group effort. You know, I know that we have the talent, the collective talent out there to pool all the pieces and parts together and say, okay, let's come together, let's form our own group. Let's invite the rest of the community to participate to whatever extent they want to participate. And part of the thing that we give back is maybe these bi-monthly or bi-weekly meetings where we're discussing details, and then inviting people to come join us if they want to join us, and you know, they can go do their own thing if they want to do their own thing.
I think that's a really cool idea, actually.
And so I you know, because I've been talking to Lem about it, I thought, okay, well, I'll just step out there and stick my head out there and let everybody cut it off.
No, awesome. I'm glad you did. Listen, I mean, I gotta run, but
I do too.
Should we reconvene next week and then figure out like a cadence?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's plan on next week. I'll work through my Zoom problems and see if I can do this better.
All good.
And then
Awesome.
yeah, we'll talk it up. I'll invite people to come out, and we'll take another look at it.
Awesome.
I appreciate
great.
Ben's support. Will you let him know that? I mean, I think this is awesome that he's willing to support us in this. And he doesn't-
100%. I will
Yeah.
absolutely let him know that.
Yeah,
And,
thanks, Ben, so much.
He doesn't have to come every
And,
week. I mean, I'd love it if he did, but I know he's busy. We're all busy, and so
Yeah. I will advocate for him to come at least every other time and next week as well. So
There we go. Okay,
Awesome.
cool. Joshua, thanks. Gabriel,
Yeah.
thanks for being
Thank
there.
you, Joshua.
and,
Thank you, Mark.
We'll talk to you next week.
all right.
Awesome.
We'll
It's
see ya.
been a pleasure.
Mhm.
See ya.
Bye-bye.